Well, hey, folks. So Prince Andrew got arrested today. But it's not what you think. It's not for underage illicit sex with Virginia. It's for sharing secrets of Britain with Epstein's. Interesting. If you have any doubt about the elites, it ought to show you they have immunity. Hey, Christ follower, it's disturbing. Now, I've already talked about that young lady. She looks pretty happy there. And I want to make something very clear. Fooling around with underage girls is not okay. Hey, chickens, I'm all right. But that girl, she doesn't look under duress. Skimpy little top. She seems pretty content. There's Ghislaine over to the right there. And Andrew was arrested today. And he and none of these people that were having sex with underage, the only one that got arrested was Epstein and yours truly on the right. And yours truly is serving a prison term for that. Not sure how long. But I think it's interesting that Andrew did not get arrested in the UK for any of that behavior. And neither has anybody else. Those two were not the only ones fooling around with underage girls. Elon Musk had even asked a question about when was the pizza party, and pizza was a code word for teenage girls. That's right. Those girls were treated as privileged. They show video of them walking from Milan, Italy, from a shopping mall with Gucci bags and everything. I mean, these teens got to live it up. They were probably treated extremely well. And, yeah. Now, that young lady committed suicide. I'm not sure all of the details. And it was told to me that it had nothing to do with that. And I agree with you, Christ follower, 100%. I agree with you 100%. I have been with enough people. You can tell somebody who's under duress. You can tell if somebody's being held against their will. You can't fake that kind of a smile and that countenance. There's no way. Oh, it happened in Australia. Really? Yeah, I thought I heard that, Michael. Something about a custody battle. I don't know. I'm going to say something that's going to get me in trouble. But I just remember when the Bill Cosby thing came out, that these women waited 30 years to fuss about it. And then they're getting money and are looking for money. And, you know, I believe at the time something happens, women could be afraid. But 30 years, I don't buy it. And what bothers me is, again, Prince Andrew was not arrested because of child sex trafficking, which is exactly what that was. He's arrested because he shared secrets of the UK with Jeffrey Epstein. And I'm not about to read a 6 million page report. I don't want to read about it. But what I want to know is the FBI knew about this beef jerky, the pizza parties, Elon Musk never went, but he wanted to be made known. Elon Musk definitely liked the idea that he could get involved with a bunch of cute teen girls. I want to know all the other people that were involved in that. And I want to know why it is that this prince, this royalty, was never arrested by the UK for underage sex with a minor. If I was to do that, it'd be over. I'd be a sex offender, and it'd be over. I would have to be registered. Nobody trusts me. No woman would ever be interested in me. And it just blows my mind that these elites, these people that we looked up to at one time can do this stuff and get away with it with no consequences. And that is what disturbs me. It just really shocks me that I've noticed in our culture, I've seen over the years, and I don't believe in sexual abuse and rape and all that. But a lot of women, I have gone through stuff, and I've seen stuff where people were enjoying something illicit, then years later tried to frame somebody, and I'm like, you know what? That just blows my mind. And I talked about a gal that I had been involved with when I was in my 20s. And the parents encouraged me to date her. And I took her to church with me, and she had her hand right on the inside of my leg. And we come out to my truck after church. I said, "You cannot do that." And she goes, "Why?" I said, "Because you're arousing me. But I want that." And we never had sex. And she came on to me, and came on to me a lot. Was very promiscuous with me. She told me her uncle had raped her. And I said, "Well, I would think you wouldn't want anything to do with that stuff." Same thing, James, just mac and cheese, vegetables, and tuna. I branch out sometimes. This is my bachelor goulash. But bottom line is, she was extremely promiscuous, egged it on, and I'm glad I never had sex with her. You know, we played around, but she's quite overweight. She's, the last time I heard of her, quite overweight. And she told everybody I hurt her. And I told somebody that was a mutual friend of mine and her family, I said, "Hurt her?" I said, "I didn't do anything to her." I said, "She was very promiscuous. We did not have sex, but she kissed on me. She had her hand down my pants, and I felt her breasts, and it was crazy, man." And I tell you what, to be involved with somebody that age right there as a grown man, boy, is that dangerous. Teenagers can turn at an instant. Why would you risk that? Even aside from the legalities, why would you risk that? If she gets her feelings hurt, she's going to rat you out. Right there. I know you don't. I don't listen to him because of my work schedule. I don't get to hear him anymore. I want to know who was on the island. Now, see, the people that are reading stuff, the names are crossed out. So how does Glenn Beck know who's who? Who knows who's who is what I want to know. And why did the FBI not arrest people? Why did the FBI not arrest people? Yeah, but Michael, do you think Bill Clinton, I mean, he cheated right under his wife's nose in the White House in the Oval Office. I wouldn't put it past him to have played around with those girls. Hey, Mr. Hinkle. Prince Andrew, yep. What a mess. I heard he's been stripped of his nobility and everything, which he should be. But now, I don't know how true this is, but an ABC YouTube clip was stating that the U.S. is looking at doing strikes on Iran this weekend. Did anybody hear that? Is that fake news or is that true? Bill Clinton, I don't think he's doing anything now. He's an old man. Hey, David, I think Bill Clinton's pretty much washed up. Nobody's going to want to play games with him anymore. But he did a lot of screwing around. Hey, Abba. Bill Gates, I wouldn't put it past him either. Hey, Trailer. Long time no see. There's something disgusting about this whole thing. There really is. The evil that they partook in. They need to lock them all up, every single one of them, and throw away the key. Hey, Kimberly, how are you? So Virginia's death had nothing to do with the whole Epstein affair. And did Virginia ever say who she had sex with on the island? Was that ever brought to anybody's attention? Ricky, because they're bored. They're bored. That's all I can reason. And my sandal came off. And they don't know what to do. The trailer, I want to know how many people were involved in this, because I believe there were hundreds. This wasn't a handful of clowns. The fact that the FBI did not make any arrests and deal with this years ago is telling. You know the FBI is corrupt as hell. And trailer, yeah, they need, I don't understand this. You changed your name. Hey, F55, how are you? Or did you change it? I haven't seen you in a while. So is it true that somebody hear that? All I saw was a clip, and the ABC is about as trustworthy as Maxine Waters. She's another one. Somebody in the political realm confronted her being friends with the dictatorship in Cuba. And she said that she didn't deny anything that the senator accused her of, but wanted her words taken down. The new mod logo, okay, got you. And what I wanted to know, Maxine's another kook, and I would say it to her face. I have no respect for her at all. Absolutely, simply. Absolutely. I'm doing all right. Yep, Mad Max. She is not a pretty woman, and she is a classic case in point. These people live and die in office, making tons of money. She's an awful human being. I don't like her. And it's like the school district. It's like so many things. You can't get things changed. You can't get bad, superintendents. You can't get rid of bad managers. Same thing. It's these political institutions are habitations of demons. Maxine Waters is a horrible human being. And they're the ones, like I was talking at lunch today, rules for thee, but not for me. They don't live by the rules that they put on everybody. Even if they're not involved, Simply, they have to know people who are. She's involved with Scientology. And she said to bring them arrest, society would collapse. Well, let it collapse. You letting these people get away with this is a slap in the face to Lady Liberty. It's a slap in the face to the Constitution, our judicial system. And God is not going to wink at that. There's a special place in hell for all these buffoons. And let me make it clear. You go to hell by rejecting the salvation of Christ. But these people, and many Bible scholars believe, that you will suffer in hell. Some believe more intensely for the horrific things you did. Some people believe Adolf Hitler will be really experienced. You know, hell is bad. No matter whether you're a good, non-Christian or a bad non-Christian. But some pastors I've sat under believe that hell will be more intense to a greater degree depending on what they did on earth. But I don't know. It's unfathomable. It's unfathomable that we're even dealing with this sort of thing. It just seems like that flower grew up on the side of my house last summer. And I hadn't seen one of those. And it actually they said it grows just to say that fall is coming. And what a beautiful thing it is. What happened to the chat? The chat just came to an abrupt halt. Kathy Joe, are you still here? Why did the chat totally freeze? But anyways, I don't like it. This frustrates people in America when justice isn't served, especially on this level. If this stuff had happened 60, 70 years ago, there would have been big trouble. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know if anybody's trying to chat or what, but it is totally frozen. But Zuckerberg, and I've talked about this, Zuckerberg His Facebook censors conservative thought. But Facebook has been allowing underage girls to get on there with provocative clothing, no bras, certain body parts showing. Spider lily, yes, chicken, thank you. Now it's moving. Thank you, Abba. Now it's moving. And it just goes to show you, where's Congress on Zuckerberg? If I was to make a video, say I had a daughter, and I was to make a video and post it online, my daughter in a little half shirt, jumping up and down where the nipple shows and pops out, they would consider that child porn. And these young ladies are getting on Facebook making reels, and Facebook is not shutting it down. They're not being held accountable. They passed a sweeping child sex trafficking laws in the House and the Senate some years ago. Why is Facebook not being held accountable? We know why. If you're liberal, you get away with anything. And Zuckerberg and social media, we know politically where they stand. Kathy, do you get those there in Kentucky? Well, I think the chat is hung again. Good grief. Can't win for losing. What's going on with the chat tonight, folks? Anybody know? Everything's good on my end. But I want to say it again. Let it be known Prince Andrew did not get arrested. Hey, Carol, how are you? Did not get arrested for having illicit sex. None of these people have been arrested for eating babies. I'm not understanding this. I'm not understanding how our government is so callous and the FBI has not pulled these people in. How many were involved? Hundreds? Thousands? Is anybody chatting or is it literally just stopped again? That's weird. Normally it moves. That's weird. Something's up with the video tonight. There you go, Carol. Yeah, it is sickening. I don't know why there isn't a big outcry. Oh, hey, Nikki. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're right. There should be an outcry from this country. That just goes to show you how much our country and how much people have changed. Americans have gotten used, get up, go to work, get up, go to work. Nothing we can do about it. And that's why this stuff flourishes. There's not enough people getting upset and demanding that this stuff be brought to justice. I can see it, chicken. I just don't understand. But maybe we are finally there. I mean, I've said this before, calling good evil and evil good. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that, chickens. I answered that. Do you have those in Kentucky? Hi, Tiny. How are you? I mean, I'm glad the guy got fired at work the other day. He didn't get fired for the crap he did. He got fired because he failed the drug test. Andrew didn't get fired for the crap he did. He got fired because he blew Britain's secrets into Epstein's ear. It's funny. Hello, Mind. How are you? Carol, you're right. But why is it that these elites get such protection? Who have they paid off? I mean, Bill Gates. I can't imagine teenage girls being aroused with any of these guys. I just don't get it. Bill Gates? Bill Gates is not exactly GQ, ever. Tiny, same old usual pasta, tuna and veggies. It's easy. I need to get some chicken thighs. I like chicken thighs because they're greasy, dark meat. Oh, the money was the motivation. It's funny. Men are suckers for looks. Women are suckers for money. It's weird how that works. But I'll ask you women. Bubba Clinton. I'll ask you. So if Bill Gates offered to give you $1 million, would you sleep with him? I mean, can you women sleep with somebody like that just because the money's good? Hey, JM, how are you? Hello, Michelle. Mine says, yeah. Mind, are you a female? This is for the ladies. I'd live in a cardboard box and be homeless. I'm all right. Thank you. So you would sleep with these guys for $1 million? Look, I had friends years ago. Mike, this was when I was in my 20s. What if a woman was 87 years old and she was filthy rich and she said, you marry me, you get all my money? And I said, I wouldn't do it. You wouldn't? I said, no. Why? I said, I'm not in love with her. But Mike, she could die out. I said, you know what? I am not like that. You know, I have to be in love with a woman. Literally. And if I'm not in love with her, no. I captured in time. Michelle, that's the thing. You see, as a Christian, the thing that hits my mind is this. If I get the money by compromising God's laws, He could make that money dwindle away. I could have a medical emergency and suck it all off. And I'd rather be blessed by God. Hey, Mr. E-Rock, $1 million isn't worth my sanity. That's just it. And I will tell you, that tells all of us. Now, I'm not trying to shame anybody, but that tells you who your God is. You willing to compromise? Your phone got dark. I'm just going back to my room so I don't leave all the lights on in my house. It's nighttime in Georgia, folks. That's my Charlie Brown tree. I was going to cut it down after they removed the big oak. That thing sprouted and budded so beautifully, and I'm glad I left it there. I just think it's sick that Andrew did not get arrested because of underage minors. I mean, I just assumed it was illegal in Britain to do that too. Yeah, it was nice. It was very humid today. They had the warehouse doors open. Every time I walk by, it's just a wall of wetness. It didn't rain. It was supposed to rain today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday. It didn't rain today. It looked like it was gonna. Hello, Cody. Yeah, today was decent. Tennessee or Kentucky gonna get snow, huh, Kathy? Wow. I thought you guys would get a break from it. Hello, Jenna. How are you? I tell you, as I get older, It'll be nice to go to heaven and you won't have to hear about bad things anymore. Oh, yeah. Now, this is the time in the Sierra Nevadas where they just get dumped on now through March. Chickens, that's cute. Yes, Carol, I have my battle with my own temptations, but you know what? I don't like violence and all this crazy stuff you're hearing about with Epstein and grown men just being decadent and the women involved in this. You know, Ghislaine, she was messing around with the girls too, and so were the other women that were out there. Elon Musk was emailing, let me know when you have the big pizza parties. He was contemplating going. I said this years ago, and I'll say it again. I've never trusted Elon Musk. He was a Democrat. Then he switched over. And it could very well be that some of the people that switched over got some awful things to hide, and they figured if they cozy up to Trump, that they'll go under the radar. Who knows? Hey, Miss Jane, how are you? Miss Jane, you changed your name. Did you change your name, Miss Jane? I know you changed your name. I was going to say, Jeb, that's okay. I still recognize your pretty face. So I knew who you were. There's a song by a black guy, Mary Jane. That's a good song. So how come Prince Andrew wasn't arrested for fooling around with teen girls? Come on, let's ask this question. Why was he not nailed for that? Why isn't they only arrested him on espionage or secrets or whatever for? Yes, Rick James. That's right, Susan. Yes, I do. And I'm a flirt. I like doing my rise and shine this morning. That was fun. Hawaii 5-0 background. That's okay. Your body's telling you to go to sleep, man. What is MRE, Christ follower? Take one for the team, Andrew. How much money do you want? Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Meals ready to eat. Christ follower, I asked earlier in the room, did anybody hear something I'm not a big fan of the liberal networks, but ABC had something on YouTube that the U.S. is looking at striking Iran on this weekend. Doomsday food. Yes. Is that so? And what prompted this? Was it because of the Islamic Republic army that killed people for no reason in the streets? Iran is a powder keg. Their government sucks. I looked on the ABC under the comments on YouTube, and you should have seen all the liberal comments. So he said, oh, but Israel can have all the weapons they want, but Iran can't. I said, well, yeah. I said, Israel's surrounded by enemies that hate them. And I said, and if Iran gets weapons, they'll shoot Israel, they'll shoot America and everybody else. I said, clearly you know this, right? I wanted to say, you are so stupid. People are very anti-Semitic. I'm seeing that show up a lot. I don't like it. Hey, Thomas. I can't give that out, Christ. I don't give anybody my email. That I don't do. You can get on Discord, 77 Titanic 77. Got you, Mystery Rock. Christ, I'm not going to worry about that. God promised to meet my needs. And I'm not going to live under that. Yeah, I don't give anybody email. That nobody has access to. God promised to meet our needs. Says we're supposed to trust him to give us our daily bread, and he does. We cannot live in fear. You could store up all this food in your house and your house get bombed, then what? You've got to trust in God, Christ follower. You've got to trust one day, one step at a time. Well, thank you, Carol. We have to. I remember years ago when I was married and my wife, they were talking about Y2K. I'm glad to hear that, Kathy. Praise God. I'm glad everything's good. So my wife said, what do we do? Because they were talking, people were hyping up Y2K. They said, oh, the computers won't recognize 99 going to 2000. It'll shut off everything. I'm like, it'll say 2 zeros. So what? And she says, should we buy a generator? I said, how's a generator going to work? We live in an apartment on the 7th floor. You think the landlord's going to appreciate us having a gas generator and making all that noise? I said, here's the way I'm going to view this. if this happens like the sky is falling people, everybody's going to be affected. How about if we just wait and see what happens? She woke me up New Year's Eve right after the Catholic Church on Colfax and Logan rang the bells. She goes, well, Mike, it's 2000. I got up, looked out the window. People were honking and yelling Happy New Year on the streets. And as I went back into my bedroom, I said, do you notice something? She goes, what? I said, what time is it? She goes, it's like 10 after. I said, did you notice the lights didn't go off? Oh my gosh, you're right. I said, yeah, I'm going back to sleep. Y2K didn't happen. I literally said it just like that. Yeah, my hair's growing. Zoinks. I'm happy. That's right, TTJ. That's right. Christ, Jesus wants me to trust him one day at a time. The only future I know is what he declares in Revelation. What I'm waiting for is I get up and I do my duties daily. The next event on the prophetic calendar is the rapture of the church, and we don't know the day. This is a gray shirt. Oh, you see the green one. Okay. Hi, Ricky. Jamie. It's funny. I have a confident trust in God in some things, and then I freak out about others. I'm not worried about doomsday scenarios. I grew up in California. We heard them all. I remember my sister and I were little, and we were told that the planets were going to line up. The world was going to come to an end. We woke up, stood at the bottom of the stairs to the upstairs in our house in Mammoth, and I said, they say the world's supposed to end today. And it didn't happen. No, I'm not done with that yet. I'm not done with either the one I use or the one on the other side of the house. I need to install the sink and caulk the bathtub. That's it. I don't have the vacation time that I had working in transportation. But I must go. I need to use the bathroom and prepare for bed. I'm tired, so I'm going to hit early. But yeah, it's disturbing to see all these grown people, celebs. They get to do whatever they want. Well, thank you, Jamie. But we have to remember, justice delayed is not justice denied. You guys have a good evening and thank you. Be safe and God bless.